over the weekend, I've been, as I always do, just kind of scrolling throughout my timeline on Twitter and stuff, and it's crazy at the moment, as of recording this video, the amount of pro players, particularly in games such as Fortnite, that I'm seeing posting a very brief, like 4-word, like, I'm quitting this, I'm leaving this, I'm done, and then like a twit long, whatever it might be, essay, sometimes even just a paragraph about why they're leaving professional esports because of this year, because of 2020, because of the absolute the absolute joke-a-thon that has been this year in terms of just, everything. The pandemic has massively affected everyone. It ruined all live events. Everything is gone. It has, affected me massively. I'm sure it's affected you too. But it's made a lot of people who are otherwise, competing at LAN events, kind of like, next within a team, solos, or it might be. It's all been done online now from the confines of bedrooms and kitchens that have been turned into what looks like a bedroom. Even the garage. I'm sure there's someone out there who's converted got an underground bunker. That's definitely a thing. Somehow they've got internet in there and somehow it's working. But you're seeing a lot of people who are players, pro respected big players, and they might be streamers, usually streamers and content creators as well, who have suddenly gone, I'm done, I'm finished, I'm not doing this anymore, I can't do this any longer. And so much of it comes down to mental health. Mental health is hugely a big part of it. So you can understand if you're in the confines of your own home. It doesn't matter how much money you're making, how much reach you have, how many kind of goals you have in terms of numbers, viewership, subscribership, whatever it might be. If it's affecting you mentally and it's not healthy for you any longer to do that thing, and there's a lot of players who are in the, like late teens, early 20s, and they were being affected by mental health and wanting to focus on themselves rather than put themselves through anything else. That is it's a big wake up call for the industry. These people need a support mechanism in place. They need people to help them. They need people. There needs to be a support network and a structured network of people that can help in these kind of situations. It's got me thinking about, like the year in general, really, and what's been happening in the kind of the gaming scene from a competitive standpoint, from a streamer and a YouTuber standpoint as well. What are people making videos on? And the thing that has absolutely crushed it this year is Among Us. Like, it's just like everyone knows about Among Us. It's this game, a game that came out, developed by Inner Sloth, that came out in 2018. 2018, like 2 years ago. But this year, it goes mad. Like crazy. Like the whole world plays Among Us, and it is like the biggest game, the most watched game for audiences, be it on Twitch, YouTube, wherever it might be. It is the game that everyone can't get enough of, both the VODs and streaming alike. It's just gone crazy. We had Fall Guys at the beginning of the year. Fall Guys was a big one. Fall Guys dropped. It was free on PlayStation, on the PS Store. I got it straight away. I was sucked in by the hype as well. Like it was great. You were competing against other people. It felt so good, so easy, so simple, such simplistic fun. For so long now, we've had games that are so complicated, so hard to get into. You look at like sort of Dota 2, League of Legends, even Fortnite to an extent with the building mechanics. All these different games, competitive, CSGO, COD, all these games, they need a certain skill base to achieve in these games. But these party type games, like Fall Guys and then Among Us, was just such a breath of fresh air, so refreshing in this crap like year that we've had. They were brilliant. They were absolutely brilliant. But Among Us was a different beast. All right, Fall Guys Season 2 came out in October time, and numbers just have continued to decline a little bit. People aren't quite as taken aback by this, and I'm gonna dive into why. So I found this article on PC Gamer that I want to kind of look at. It was like, it's aptly titled. It's perfect. How Among Us became so wildly popular. Big shout out to those guys, to Wes and the rest of the team there that I've put this together. It's become the most streamed game on Twitch in September. Look at that. The most streamed game on Twitch in September, which to me says it's arguably the biggest game of the year. It's not a new game, as this article clearly says here. And other games in the past have tried to do the same kind of thing as Among Us as well. The social deductive kind of thing. You're trying to determine who did something. It's like playing Cluedo, but with actual players, that kind of thing. Let's look at the pop-off. July, August. That's when this thing went absolutely insane. At the start of July, if we go here, at the start of July, Among Us averaged a couple of hundred viewers on Twitch, just a couple of hundred. Boom, suddenly, end of August, in 1 month, 100,000. That is a massive, massive increase in viewership, like out of nowhere. If you look at the breakdown of channels that are getting viewers, it's trending towards a fairly even distribution. But it's just interesting as well, because usually you have a few people that pop off big, but this seems to be a lot of people. And we're going to go into this why, because I want to talk about why in a second as well. The most successful is XQC. Obviously, XQC is a huge ex-Overwatch player turned streamer. His viewership is absolutely insane. It says here that more than 11 million hours in the past 3 months of viewed content. 11 million hours of people that have of viewed time on his streams, averaging. I think I tuned in last night and he was playing. Was he opening Pokemon cards, or he was doing something Pokemon related, and he had 110,000 concurrent viewers on just a Saturday night just playing some games. Suddenly it starts to pop off a little bit. It starts to get a little bit crazy. A bit like coronavirus. We're like, okay, come like February time this year, we're like January, February, it starts to really kind of get momentum. By the end of July, Among Us had rocketed 400 positions in average viewers into the top 50 on Twitch, thanks largely to 8 Korean streamers who otherwise owned the top 10. What is the game I wanted to play? Someone doesn't jump onto the game of random players. He gets friends and fellow streamers to play. That is it. And that is it. We talked about this as well. That is what this is all about as far as I'm concerned. That is where the hype really stems from. It's a game that any streamer can play without the expertise needs to be good at Fortnite or League of Legends. Man, I'm just speaking my language, man. I'm all over this. It is truly the Avengers of yelling into a microphone that you didn't do it. Okay, so let's have a look at this chart here as well. This purple here is all English-speaking streamers. This green, I think, is Spanish. And look at this. You can actually see this here. This is the boomers. We can track how many times the game was downloaded from Android's Google Play. On September 3rd, more than 10 million, which is massive still. By September 8th, so literally 5 days later, more than 50 million. Then, dude, 18 days later, after its initial 10 million, 100 million downloads. Among Us 2 is no more. Forget the sequel. Don't bother with it. We're focusing everything, all our attention into Among Us Uno, the very first one. Among Us is just Among Us. Like Fortnite. We've got Fortnite Chapter 2, whatever it might be, but it's still Fortnite pretty much. It's just a different maps, and different tweaks, different kind of, clearly different kind of deals done with different kind of sponsorships and whatnot as well. But with Among Us, very quickly they saw this massive boom. And they were like, forget that game. Everyone's playing this game right here, right now. Let's focus on this game only. And I want to allude back to what happened. Look at the way this spread. Korea, Asia, massive market for games in general, exploded. Some of the biggest Korean streamers playing together, all playing simultaneously. I've got a lot of friends who work in the YouTube space, and working as a clique of like seeing three different perspectives of the same thing. You'll watch all of them. You want to see what every single person played something and experienced something. Exactly the same kind of thing was happening. And then we look at the boom that happened with Among Us in Western territories as well. We look at the US, you look at the UK. It all came down to the camaraderie among streamers, YouTubers who are playing together. Easy content, bouncing off each other, utilizing each other's subscriberships, viewerships, engagement, everything in that bubble. Everyone wants to see how every single person plays the game. Not only that, it's a great showcase for other people as well, for other streamers who are in that person's social circle. That for me is where it really boomed. You had all these different people who no longer needed to be really incredibly good at a game. Sure, there's a lot of strat involved with playing Among Us. And there's people who got different things. I've been watching Corpse Husband recently, who's just absolutely blown up, like huge numbers. I mean, that voice is just holy cannolis. I mean, my God. You could cut cheese with that puppy. When it comes down to streaming and content creation as well, a lot of times you want to speak to the audience at home. Here's a game where you're having that conversation with other people, and suddenly you have to keep hyping up everyone at home, although it's part of that kind of like, the streamer's ethos that you will do that. But you're so involved and engaged with the people that you're playing with that people are just happy to be a fly on the wall just watching how you play. I mean, Fall Guys wasn't that. Fall Guys was a party game. But this is a whole new way of gaming. This takes all the competitive nature because, I find it really kind of interesting to see the evolution of gaming in general. And there's one thing we haven't talked about as well. Skill-based matchmaking. SBMM, we'll talk about another video. I'll do another video on that specifically because I want to talk about that in detail because there's a lot to be said about skill-based matchmaking in general. But skill-based matchmaking made it so sweaty and so hard for creators to make good content people want to see of them sweeping up and tearing up. And, you know, on Fortnite, for instance, is a fantastic example of riding rockets and doing these crazy storm shots, you know, hundreds of meters. I mean, there's all these different things people were doing to make great content for their viewers. When it became too hard to do that because you had to be so focused on just getting through a game and not being taken out in the beginning of it, this kind of game where you can take your foot off the gas and just sit and enjoy is what's bringing content creators back to where it all began for them, having fun playing games. Fun is where it's at. Among Us is fun incarnate. That's exactly what it is. It's a game where you can just enjoy engaging with your pals, playing together, which is what gaming fundamentally is all about. It's about playing with friends. I love board games. I'm a board game aficionado. Christmas is my favorite time of year. Why? Everyone's playing flipping board games, mate. I love them. But I can't really bring them out in the middle of August. Everyone's like, dude, everyone's going to the pool. And I'm like, well, can we just play one more game of Hero Quest or Key to the Kingdom? You'll know it if you've played it, okay? Game of Life. There you go. You can have Game of Life. Not Twister. That's not a board game. It's got a board in it, but it's definitely not a board game. But this is what it comes down to, is playing with friends, and that's why Among Us has become so popular and why it's become one of the biggest games there is, and why it continues to get people interested because it continues to evolve. Developers are all over it. They know they've got a nugget of absolute gold, and they're willing to roll with it as best they can. And the game as well, it's a few dollars, it's a few pounds on Steam. It's next to nothing. You know, surely it's going to come to console soon. I'd be baffled if it didn't. And I think we're really going to see a turn now in the way in which we digest as gamers and as viewers and as a content creator. We're going to see a different way that people digest and make their content because they know that they can make bangers with a game which doesn't require a crazy skill set, a very unique skill set where you need to grind for hours just to hold your own. It's about fun, and that's what's at the heart of it. I'd love to hear your thoughts, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If there are any of the games this year that you think have been equally as successful as Among Us, let me know in the comments below. I want to know. But it's a really interesting subject, a really interesting thing. I love the way that the gaming world shifts regularly. I think it's bloody fascinating, and I love it. And people who are outside looking in often need context, and hopefully this is given some. Make sure if you like this video to like the video, smash the like button as well, and subscribe as well. We're really gaining momentum now with subscribers. The videos are really landing. People seem to really like them, which is great. And I'll continue doing loads more. Take care. Peace out. I love you. I'll see you.